Hello yarn family, it's Shelley. In this tutorial, I'm going to show you how to make spiral Christmas ornaments. You guys, these are so nice, and I am not kidding you. They take about 10 minutes to make. So you can make a bunch of them and decorate your tree and make them for your craft tables, make them for hostess gifts. If you were to make maybe a set of 4 and put them in a nice little box, how nice would that be? And as a bonus, we're going to make this Christmas tree. And I'm going to do that at the end of the tutorial. So thanks again for joining me. I used my 22 needle machine for this project, and all the yarn that I'm using here I will list in the description box below the video. So always have a look down there, and you can get a list of what I have used, all the yarn particulars there. All right, so don't forget to hit that like, that thumbs up, and subscribe if you haven't done so already. Once you have your yarn and your 22 needle machine set up, we are going to get started. Have fun, friends. All right, friends, if you are ready to begin, then so am I. This is exciting because it's a beautiful project, but yet it's fast and easy. Okay, we're going to, well, maybe not so easy for some of you, because if you're new, then it'll be a little bit more difficult, but I have confidence that you can do it. If you follow exactly what I do, don't shut the video off and do your own thing. Go check out my Facebook group. Someone just recently posted today, actually. Well, it depends when you watch this, but that they were in a hurry, and so they decided to just figure it out themselves, and it didn't work out. So you got to watch the videos, watch the whole thing. Don't skip over parts, okay? Because I give you tips as we go along. So we're going to take our 2 colors. First thing we're going to do is we're going to set our row counter to 0. Now, here is how we get a spiraling effect. We're going to pretend that we have 23 needles on our machine. And here's why. Because when we start our first needle here and we go around in our patterning, into our patterning, if we stop on our last needle here, we're going to start our next row on this needle, and it doesn't create a patterning. It creates a stripe. Okay? And so we have to end on this needle, which would be 23. So when we do our patterning over 23 needles, then the next row will start here. This was our first needle. Now it's starting on the second needle. We're going to do it over 23 needles, which would end on that same needle. Then our next row will start on the third needle. That's how we create a spiral effect. So we're going to take our yarn, and I'm going to start with my green. Doesn't matter which one you start with. And I'm going to do my patterning over 3 needles. So I'm going to put green, green, and green. So we're not going to use our yarn feeder. We're going to hook those under the first 3 needles, and we're going to sink them almost all the way down, because we still need to get to this needle. It's a little tricky to start, but once you start, it's clear sailing from there. And I'm going to go under the next 3 with my red. 1, 2, 3. We'll tie off our tails on row 3 or 4, okay? I'm going to let those almost sink down. I'm going to just pull on them to tighten that tension. Then we're going to take our yarn tails in our hand. I'm going to put the green between my thumb and my index finger, and between my index and my third, I'll put the red. And we're going to keep switching over 3 needles. So I did the first 3, and then 4, 5, 6. I'm going to do 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. I'm taking my thumb and I'm pinching this red one. 16, 17, 18. Then I'm taking my thumb and I'm helping this green one come across. 19, 20, 21. I said we needed 23. So we started with green. It's important that we end with the second color. So I'm going to go 22 and 23. I'm only going to do 2 needles. That takes me to 23 needles in my patterning. Now let me just tell you something. You have to be strategic in how you plan out your needles. If I would have done 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2 all the way around and ended on 3 needles, I would have started with red and ended with red. You have to be very careful about that, because you can change up your needle count if you want to get a thinner or a thicker stripe, but you need to know that whatever color you start on, you have to end on the other color in your patterning. So we ended with 2 needles here for 22 and 23. And that sets us up for our next row, okay? Because we started on this first block and we ended on the first block. So now we're going to begin our next row. 1, 2, 3 with green, 4, 5, 6, and don't put a lot of tension on this. Just let it slip through your fingers. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. We have to pretend there's 23, 22, and 23. That's the needle we started on. It's the needle we ended on. And of course, we passed the black needle, so our counter is telling us we're now on row 3. Don't get messed up by the counter and where your placement is on your machine, because you're going to be starting over here somewhere. Well, over here somewhere, actually, because we're doing every row, you're going to move over one. And your counter's going to keep track over a 22 needle count. And we are doing our patterning over a 23 needle count. So don't worry about the counter except to watch what number you, like when we get to 20 on the counter, we're gonna stop. We're not gonna worry about how many rows we've actually gone around, because we haven't really added that much. Okay, we've added a row actually. And so we're not gonna worry about that. We're gonna just look at our counter. We're not gonna worry about what placement our counter or our end of our row is. We're just gonna worry about our counter. That's so confusing, but I was confused when I first started this spiral patterning thing too. So I'm just going to now keep going. So now where was I? I started on green, I ended on red. I'm going to start on green. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. Here's another very important tip. If somebody's calling you, and I said this in my last, probably on all of my spiral tutorials, don't stop counting till you get to 23. Then you know if you have to get up and do anything, sink down that needle so you know that you are starting your next row. Trust me, I almost got confused talking to you, and did the wrong thing. So you need to, if you start a row, count to 23. It only takes a couple seconds, and then answer your door or answer your husband when he's calling you, or etc., etc., etc. Don't take a drink of coffee in the middle of a row. Finish your row. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, and 23. The last one always is the second color, which is red, and you only need do 2 needles. You're going to keep going round and round and round like that, and every row that you do starts on 1 needle over and ends on that same needle. You're going to keep going round and round and round until let's get to row 19, and I'll meet you back, and so we can do row 20 together and not be confused. Okay? Have fun, friends. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Not talking to you. 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, and 23. I only did a couple more rows just because I forgot to tie my ends, but you can already see the patterning. I don't know if you can see it in the camera, but you can already see your patterning taking effect, and it's awesome. So let's find those 2 tails that we started with. They're where your black divider is. Let's find the other red one. And we're going to take those 2. I usually do it after row 3 or 4, but I forgot. And you're going to just tie them off in a knot. That's your first 2 tails. Now those are taken care of, and you're going to keep going. And I didn't come back on and talk to you till I was at the end of my row. So now I'm going to do the next row. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, and 23. Okay, I got away on myself. I got to remember I did 6 needles because my thing is on 19. 7, 8, 9. Yeah, now it's clicked on 19. 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, and 23. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Now it clicked on 20 when it passed those black needles. 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, and 23. I am not going to finish around. My black thing is there, but I'm not going to finish till I get to the end of what I think is, you know, normally the end of the row. This is the end of my patterning. I'm going to sink that down. That is where I will end, okay? So it clicked on 20 somewhere over here, wherever it was, and this is where 23 ended. And that's where we're going to just end it. So when it clicks on 20, just finish that row of patterning, and where it ends, okay? I'm going to now take my red, and I'm going to, actually, let me just think here for a second. I'm going to cut my green. Doesn't matter which one, actually. And I'm going to tie a knot. I gotta go to the other side of the table to do this. Maybe not. Tie a knot just like this. Then I can drop this green one. That yarn tail is taken care of. This one will get taken care of in a bit. Cut off a tail that's about 1.5 times the length, circumference of your barrel. Pop that in the middle. Here's where you need to be very, very careful, because we are creatures of habit, and we think that we need to take off the first needle first. We don't. Here's where our last one was. We're going to take off this needle first. So I'm going to get around this little tight area that I have so I can get on this side of my table. Here's my last needle. You can see your yarn is coming up there. I'm going to take off this one. So that needle has dropped down already, so I can take my needle and put it underneath there, pull my yarn tail through. This is a drawstring cast off. Then turn your handle, take off the next one. I'm going to go just one at a time for a bit because this needle's holding that loop on there. And down. And we're going to keep removing our stitches one at a time till you get some slack back here. And you can take a couple at a time. Hold them on your needle with your thumb, just like this. And we're going to release all of our needles all the way around. Take your time. It's a little tricky. And pull through. But worth every little extra time it takes. So that one was my last one. We have it. See, it was fooled me because my eye always goes to this. But that was the last one, and the machine let me know. There we go. We have a beautiful spiral patterning. We're going to give that a little stretch. We're going to grab our ornament, and we're going to finish this beautiful little thing off. All right, taking our ornament. Now, I don't know what size these are, so I'm going to measure them around this way for you, and hopefully that'll help. 9 inches that way, and it would be the same that way. Okay, so about your standard size Christmas ball. These ones are oval in shape. You can see if I hold them on the side, and it fits those two. Same amount of rows. These are about 4.5 inches in length. Okay, I get them both at Michael's, so you can actually, these ones I got at the Dollarama, and these ones I got at Michael's. But wherever you get your Christmas balls from, that's what you need to look for. Okay, so I'm going to take, this is the one that I tied a knot on. So that was the beginning. I'm going to just pull it. Be very careful. Take one and pull it. Then take the other and pull it. And actually cut off that knot. Just helped me to find the end. And we're going to take these two and we're going to tie them together. Just like that. Place this on your needle. Please always look down in the description box below because I have a note there for you, but I also have links to the items that I use. I'm going to pop that down into the center. Making sure it doesn't get tangled in all of these little loops. Cut it a little shorter just so it's easier to work with, but be careful you don't cut the wrong thing. Okay, and then we're going to find our end on the other side. We tied off the green. We're going to just straighten it out just a little bit, and then we're going to stick that little Christmas ball into there. Take your time, you guys. Pop it around. Then pull on your red one, or whichever one you didn't tie, and not to and cut. And I'm going to cut this a little shorter, make it easier to work with. I'm going to pop this back on my needle, but I'm going to take a smaller one. And I'm going to make sure that my little hanger is out, and I'm going to go around that top row of stitches just to get a nicer close. Put your finger over that little hook there, or the little area where you're going to put your hook. For me, I'm just going to add yarn, but you can put your Christmas ball hooks if you want, and look how beautifully that closed up. There we go. I'm going to tie it to the red and not to the red. Make sure you do it to the same color so that you don't see that little bump that it might leave. Push that knot down with my finger. Get in there, do one more. Push that down. I'm going to go down under that red and out. Give it a little tug to get that knot to go on the inside. Cut this off. And there we go. How fast and easy and quick was that? Taking my red yarn, I'll need a longer piece. Let's take this one. I'm going to pop that onto my needle. Hopefully this needle is small enough to get through this top. There we go. Pull it through. I'm going to tie off a knot, whatever length you feel, and cut that off. And there we go. We have our spiral Christmas ball. You can just straighten out your rows. All right, so Magica camera. I actually changed this out. I found some red ribbon in my drawer, so I put the red ribbon on the ornaments with red, and then I made these two as well. Now I'll show you the yarn that this is, because I think they're so country rustic looking. This is Re-Spun 100% recycled polyester. It's lion brown yarn, and it's a medium 4-weight. This color is, I'm trying to find it here, Cider, and the other one is Parchment. Love these colors. It's a little rough feeling, but it gets softer as you work with it. And although it's a 4-weight yarn, it feels like it's just a little bit thinner. And so this one I did 25 rows, and it's too much. I would have stuck, next time I would stick with the same amount that we did this one in. Okay, so this one I probably will redo it because it's so fast to redo, and I just don't like how it bunches up. So note to self. There we go. We have several of these made. And now we are going to work on our Christmas tree. It comes all, for me, I'll show you which one in a second, which one I got, but you light it up. And there you go. It's so cute. Grab your 22. Let's get started on this one. All right, friends, so for the Christmas tree, you are going to do the exact same thing. Now, I just want to make a quick mention here. You actually, and I did take and put notes on the screen, but you don't have to actually tie these off at the beginning or at the end, because you're going to use them for your drawstrings to pull tight anyway. So you can just leave those, or if it helps you to have a little tie so that you can find them easier, then that's a good idea too. Now, in the end, when you're finished doing the green one, and I'm going to give you the row counts and tell you how to figure it out in just a second, it's the same thing. On the last one, I just pulled the one, you saw how I tied it off, and then I pulled the one to tighten it, and that worked. I don't know why I did it that way in the video, because for all the other ones that I did, I actually tied a loose knot there too, and then I pulled both of these to tighten the drawstring. But it goes to show that it doesn't matter. You can pull one or you can pull two, and it's going to tighten it beautifully. You just want to make sure that they're both tied off, okay? So whether you tie it off and cut it and then drawstring close with one, or you drawstring close individually and then tie off, which I think is the better idea, and I'll do that on this one and you can see, then that's what you need to do. But for this Christmas tree, you might not be able to find this exact same tree. I got this in, oh, I got it. This one's not going to work. There we go. I got this in the Dollar Tree, dollar store, and you can just use whichever one you want. You might just want to use a styrofoam thing, but this one is 6.5, almost 7 inches long. And how I'm going to determine it, and this is how, depending on which one you get, let me shut that off. Depending on which one you get, stick the point of it down into there and hold it at the base with your finger, and then stretch this out so you can see how long to go. I've got 24 rows on there already. I'm going to do another maybe 4, okay? 4 or 5 rows, and then I'm going to put this back in there, and I'm going to stretch it from the bottom, from the point, give it a good stretch, and see if I have it long enough, okay? And that's how I'm going to determine what length to make it for the height of the Christmas tree that I have. And you can do the same thing, but based on the Christmas tree that you have, okay? And so I'm going to keep going for a few more rows, then I'm going to cast off and I'll meet you back. All right, so as it turns out, I did 29 rows. Oh, I love the green and the white, it's beautiful. But here's where here's my tails, okay? If I take one of them on one end and pull, then I take the other one and pull. I'm then tightening both colors. I'm gonna then take this and tie a knot. Hide my end. Oops. Pull that through. Stick your hand in there. Don't get your rings all caught up on the looseness of the stitches that are in there. Pull through. Cut off. I'm going to then find my tails on the other end that are here. See, so I didn't need to cut them off. Again, I didn't need to knot them off, sorry. Creature of habit. Spread this open wide. Pop it up onto the top of your tree. Pull it down. Then what you're going to do is you're going to do the same thing on the bottom. You're going to take one, help this down over. You're going to take one, then you're going to take 2. You need to find that little switch there if yours has a switch. Mine's right there. So I'm not going to pull this completely tight. That is all I'm going to do. Then I'm going to take these 2. I'm going to tie a knot. I'm going to hide my end. And again, when the battery dies on this thing, well, then you use it without the lights. And I'm going to, but it's a cheap tree from the Dollar Tree, so you still have the form. I'm going to bring this up, bring it out of the green, cut it off. Now let me put the light on for you. All right, so there you go. Here's our Christmas tree. Now I'm just going to take my hands and I'm going to smooth this up so that I can get a nice point there. I don't like that tip of this inside tree poking through the top here. It doesn't look nice. So you just want to take your hands and just smooth it up and you get a nice, beautiful shape. I have a Christmas village that I set up on my china cabinet every year, and I'm going to make a couple more of these and I'm going to stick them in beside all the houses that I have. I have a beautiful set, and this is going to look so nice shining like that. It's a beautiful Christmas tree. There you go. So I've got them all organized like this so you can see them. As a matter of fact, I like this little display. I might have to just leave it like this. It's so pretty. And I have shut off those main string of lights just so that you can see that there is a light on the Christmas tree that we made. However, when you're not looking at it through a camera lens, you see the light and it looks absolutely beautiful. So I hope that you can find these trees somewhere or ones like them. All right, friends. So thanks again for joining me. Always a pleasure spending time with you. I'm so thankful that you are a part of my yarn family. family, and you've made my journey just so enjoyable. So Merry Christmas, everybody, and we'll see you in the next tutorial. God bless you.